What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Give and Go, presented by
Switch
This
fails.
is volume 2 of the MLS season coming up. Yes, again, MLS is back, and I'm so excited to talk to y'all about it. So let's get right into it. We're getting into the next 10 clubs of the MLS season. Let's go. This next club, I'm always reminded that there's kind of like not a lot of house money to play with, but somehow they still play with it. Play with the money that they have quite well. It is Sporting Kansas City under Peter Vermees. Peter Vermees standing there strong as their head coach, manager, and also their technical director. I think that Peter Vermees is proven to be one of the best coaches, best managers in American history. I personally think it might be time for a new look. I love Peter Vermees again, what he has done for this league, for the team, for Sporting Kansas City. But somehow I feel like what he's capable of doing isn't transitioning into the new phase, a new look of what MLS is going for. I think that uh, he's sitting, he's kind of teetering. You know what I mean? He's like right on the edge. But somehow in his way of coaching and also his ideals, I feel like he's not really jumping and allowing himself just to skydive, you know? So for that reason, I believe that it may be time for a new look. It may not be at the position for Peter Vermees. It may be in the front office. Who knows? I'm not sure. I do know that they did play Inter Miami, in a Champions Cup phase game. The first leg of that cup, that second leg will be played then later on in Miami in a few days to come. They played actually quite well. Miami ended up winning the first leg 1-0. Of course, who else but Leo Messi, shooting the ball from the right side of the goal and tucking it right into the corner, right into the post. 1-0, they're down, but they still have a chance in Miami. That's lightly said, and we'll get to Miami in a bit, but I do think Sporting Kansas City might be in need of a new look. Again, I so appreciate everything they've done over the past few years, the MLS Cup that they won, the US Open Cup that they also have won. They've been just such a strong squad in their identity and their fan base. Their kit is classic. I love their kit, and I think it's a classic look. For all of these reasons, and again, the fan base just being so strong, those fans are always in that stadium. They're in their stadium fighting for their team. For that reason, I have to give them a C plus. I'm curious to what they're able to do. I mean, they always stay in their strong, and their identity is pretty true to moving the ball swiftly, getting it down to the other end to be able to score goals the way that they do. They stay true to a lot of the players that they still have. We'll see. We'll see what happens with them. But for now, again, I have to give them a C plus. The kit, again, a light blue with the navy swoosh, navy swooshes going from top to bottom. So light blue, navy, light blue, navy. It's really classic Sporting Kansas City kit, and I love what they've done to come back strong with that kit. So again, collectively, I got to give them a C. So we'll see what happens, though. I'm excited. Let's get to the next team. Next team that we're talking about are no strangers to success and their ability to do what they have done since coming into this league under the coach that they have, Steven Gerondolo. The LAFC, the black and gold. The new kit that they just came into for the 2025 season, their white kit is not great. It's interesting because it actually seems like it's tying more to a LA Galaxy kit. I don't want to upset anybody, but that's what I'm getting from the kit. Now, the team itself, I do think there's some strength there, and I think there's some possibilities in what they're capable of doing. You can't deny the players like Giroud, and at the moment I'm saying Giroud because I really don't see him playing the way we used to see Giroud play. I know it's a new league. He's been here for almost a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. I'm not sure. But I do think under the circumstances, I would like to see a little more productivity coming from Giroud, who they really need to be a leader and to kind of step up and do what he does. I think their midfield is a bit sparse. I know that they have some signings coming in, and there's a possibility that they're able to really shape this team the way that they need to by the end of the season, which I think will probably happen. I think Steven Gerondolo has proven to bring this style of play, surely, which is as fast as possible. I mean, like it to me, it envisions like so many different styles of the world, but specifically like a very German style that's like efficiently moving the ball, especially through the midfield, turning and going and saying, hey, like run at these guys. Their wings are fantastic, obviously with Buonga. Um, and they have a strong right-handed winger as well. But if Giroud gets hot, they could be great. I'm just not seeing it yet. They just played a Colorado Rapids squad, as I mentioned in our other video, that was just up to the task, and they end up winning that first leg 2-1. That the next game is going to be played at BMO Field against. It's going to be Colorado against LAFC, so we'll see how that game goes. But at the moment, because of the kit, their fan base is strong. That 32-52 is no joke. You know, those guys are in there always. They are fighting for their team. You know, the ability to take from possibly from what used to be, which was Chivas USA, taking some fans possibly from that LA Galaxy fan base, which is still very strong, and we're getting to that as well. The champs. All of that collectively with the kid, I actually have to give them a C+. I need to be able to see it come day one, and right now I'm just not sure yet. So let's see what we got. Here we go. Now here are the champs of last season. We were really unsure where I pegged. I personally was unsure where I pegged the LA Galaxy, because I felt a level of strength in this team, but they showed it when it came down to the last part of the season. They just showed up, and this LA Galaxy team deserves Chris, their coach, truly deserves like a round of applause. I mean, because they showed up. I mean, this team really surprised me. I really was unsure what we were going to get, and that team under Ricky Puig just did something really remarkable. I'm really curious to what their Reese is going to bring to the table as well. Their German midfielder and striker, attacking midfielder. I'm curious to what he's going to be able to bring next season. You know, who's out some of the season where he may have been injured, or he just may have been out for whatever reason. I'm really curious to what he's going to bring to the table come this season, where he's just healthy and he's able to be there for a full season. I'm really curious. Their new kit for me is spectacular. I love the purples and the different shades of purples playing on each other. I've been getting hints of the LA Lakers. I mean, that's fine considering they are in the same city. With all of that being said, though, they are dynamically their own like entity, and this LA Galaxy team needs to prove nothing to nobody to what they bring to the table in terms of their kit. The kit for me is very strong. It gives off like this very, just like this galaxy, like just this like very galaxy look in terms of literal stars. I think it's really stunning. I'm really curious to what they're going to bring to the table. Once I have to say once more, I do think they're going to be just as strong as last season, maybe even better. Truly, the positions that they're bringing back, the coaching staff. I mean that team. I mean they are the best team in MLS history. The only club that has won 6 MLS Cups and a Champions Cup. And I mean, just go down the line, they've won it, right? Because they've been here for quite a while. But I think their success is going to show itself next season. And for that reason, I got to give them an A. I got to give them an A. So let's get to the next team. The next team we got on the list needs no introduction. They need no introduction at all. Since being in this league, they've shown that they're ready to compete. Even if they might have been at their lowest of lows coming into the league, they're clearly at the highest, the peak of where they want to be. And you know, the peak is winning championships. I think they've done quite well to bring in a supporter shield one season, but I think they're going to do even more as the seasons go on, and they start to the consideration of their new stadium that will be built will set this team ablaze, man. Inter Miami is truly no joke considering. I mean, they have the likes of David Beckham and their ownership group, the stadium, the facilities that they've already built in no time. They have arguably the best player in the world in Leo Messi. Oh, here we go. This is the tough part for me, and I have to say it. I am a Suarez fan. In many regards. I know he's not perfect, because he's done some things as a player on the field that's been like, okay, buddy, like, tone it down. Here's the deal. His age is starting to show. And for me, the thought process and what this team is bringing to the table and making him their sole striker, and not having a striker strong enough under him to be brought in if necessary, is a problem for me. They're definitely going to be left like fully naked if they don't make a striker signing. Some young striker from somewhere that's ready to come in and make a true contribution. Although they have some players under Suarez that come in and do their best, and you have the second division, you have whatever. They need a striker, and they need a striker now. Like, let's stop playing games. Let's really talk about it. Again, Suarez has done great things. I think seeing him in these past few preseason games, he looks a little bit like a fish out of water. It looks a bit strange. Even his running, he looks hurt. There's something a little bit off in that regard, in their ability maybe just not to see it. And maybe it's, this the trust that they have for this team and the squad and their ability, and the coach under Mascherano. I think Mascherano, his identity is quite clear in him moving the ball around the way that he does. And I've seen that in their past game against Sporting Kansas City. But something's got to shift. All of that to say, I'm going to give them, and this may be harsh, I got to give them a B+. Something's got to shift in terms, and it's not all Suarez. There are some places on the squad in that team. I think defensively they're okay. They can be a little bit better. I think their midfield is quite strong, and I'm really curious to what they're going to do next season. The front line though just needs a little bit of help. Let's move on to the next team. B+ for Miami. The kits are fantastic though. This next team, I'm always super duper curious to what they're going to bring to the table. And every year I'm curious. Even if they finish below the line, I'm always like, man, that team, there's so much excitement there. And it's Minnesota United, Balloons. Under Owen Gene, I'm just like, new coach, or coach that's been a part of them since last season. I think, I don't know. I think they have a strong front line. The striking team is fantastic. The number 9 is clearly very good. Like, they could score goals. Their midfield is strong, but not. It just feels like it's not consistent. And their back line is just fine. I gotta be honest, I don't care. But that fan base is there for that team. And there's so much excitement around Allianz Field, their stadium, the fan base. Their kit is beautiful. It's crisp. You get this nice little crisp kit. But their style of play is calculated to the extent that I would get bored, and that's kind of translated over into this season. I mean, excuse me, from last season, and hopefully not into this season. They did okay last season. With that being said, I gave them a B+, considering, because there is something there, but it's inclining, but it's like so slow. You know what I mean? It's like, we'll get there. Hold on now. I'm curious to what they'll do next season. I am very curious to what they'll do next season. With that being said, B plus is what I had to give Minnesota United. We'll see what we get next season, though. We'll see. Here we go. This next club, for the pride of their fan base and the blue and black, the French, the Canadian French that they are, Montreal, CF Montreal. Look, you guys have done so much to create an identity, and visually what we see in terms of the kit, the colors, the badge, you guys have done the work. Now it's time for the work to show itself on the field, unapologetically. The style, all of it. I don't really have much to say about Montreal except CF Montreal, except honestly, I'm slightly disappointed. I am always wanting more for this squad, and somehow it never hits the peak for me. They always are kind of little brother somehow, even in their style of play that's pretty freaking good, but it's never executed to its completion. Like they can never really get it done to make it to that next round of the playoffs, or they can never really get it done to be the big brother to these Canadian teams. I mean, they played almost twin to the success of these other Canadian clubs like TFC and Vancouver and even the Canadian Premier League teams. I just want to see more for them. I want more of a fight. The fans seem up for the challenge. Like I feel like I see them really fighting for their club. Like it gives off like a European style almost. I just want more for that. And the kit, classic kit. We're back to the black and blue, vertical stripes. I had to give them a C minus. I just want more. I want more. I need more from that Montreal team. I want to see them successful. I really do. This is the next club, Nashville SC. There's the kits are always basic. I think they've come out with one kit, that black kit, that was really just a black kit. But I think it's the most exciting kit that I've seen them go out of their way to be like, let's do something a little different. And it was that black kit. It's a black and gray trim kit. The kits are basic. The club activity is a little bit basic. Their fan base, though. Their fan base is nowhere near basic. That fan base is insane and amazing. And I love seeing them go to work and just love what they're doing. Like almost it's like a job. Like they show up to this club knowing that it's arm to arm, brother for brother. And they're fighting for their club. I mean, this is a club playing out of a baseball stadium not too long ago. And they were like, look, like we deserve this. And they did get it, and they got what they deserved. But now they need to further get what they deserve for that success on the field. I get the Huntsville partnership. That's fantastic. I love that. Congratulations to the ownership group. I hope that will be able to translate over to the first team, because this first team needs help. They need help. I just don't feel, I feel like the ceiling is being just tapped on by like an object, a little bit of hail, but it's not shattering. Like, you know what it needs for the ceiling to shatter. That glass needs to be broken up, and somehow it's just like, here's a little rock, a little pebble, and then, like, that's all we need for no, like, let's get this thing broken. and let's really go for it. They need a little more than what they have, and that's no dig on what they have so far. I love Zimmerman. Um, I love Mukhtar. I love the players. There are some, proven players on that team that can show what they're capable of doing, and they'll fight to the end. But nothing good enough to really prove something from where I'm standing ever. I would love to be wrong, but for that reason, I got to give them a C minus. I would love to be wrong about Nashville completely. We'll see what we get this season. Here we go. The New England Revolution. It's the same story as last season. I think they are a great. The tradition of what they bring to the table. They are a strong club, and the identity and the possibilities of the identity can be heightened every year. But somehow they're just like, let's just stay here. It's like that. It's like the family that the family members are part of, and that family keeps saying like, these are the family dynamics. Like don't bend out of those. It's like no, like the family should be getting stronger, right? So I just want to see this New England Revolution team, one of the, famously one of the originals, become strong. Like we want to see you guys actually win trophies consistently. That ownership group is, they're not left wanting, right? I mean, they're fine. They own one of the most famous football clubs in the world. They're not left wanting, but they're the American football clubs rather, but their football club in MLS is just left wanting consistently. I mean, under Caleb Porter, who actually has a strong identity. I think Caleb Porter can actually bring something to the table that can really leave these fans proud, if anything. But Caleb Porter, even of itself, is kind of he kind of has, and like his image reminds me of a New England Revolution, where they just kind of it's like, where are you guys going? Like, come back to life, come back with us. And all due respect, because I respect Caleb Porter. I respect what he did for Portland. I respect what he did for the Crew. Caleb Porter's not a joke, man. Easily one of the best, as far as I'm concerned, of this day and age. Definitely one of the best American coaches of our time. With that being said, I do think we need to see a resurgence of Caleb Porter. And if we see that from Caleb, we'll see that for the New England Revolution. Their fan base needs a little bit of help as well. Their kit, on the other hand, actually, I like their ability to have tried something. It's a white kit with some like pine green. It's primarily white, and there's like pine green trim going throughout the kit. The kit is actually a little bit inspiring. It feels inspired, and I love what they tried to do. Look, collectively, I had to give them a C. That was the kindest I could be about it. But we will see what happens with New England. I want to see more from them. The Leo Campana, excellent signing. So we'll see what he can do for them, and we'll see what that team can do to turn this thing around. Here we go. NYCFC is a proven club in this league. They haven't had much time in the league, considering the older clubs that have been a part of it since its inauguration. NYCFC being one of the newer clubs coming in recent years, and winning an MLS Cup shortly after. Under their new coach, Pascal Janssen, there's a possibility of them kind of finding who they are under this new coach. It may bode troublesome, and may bode success. You never really know. But what I do know, there is an uncertainty about that. But what I do know about this ownership group in Manchester City, NYC, New York City, and the Yankees, they want success, period. Both clubs are success stories. So they're not going to put anybody out there that doesn't want success just as much as they do. So I feel like their hiring had to be for a reason. This guy has managed a few clubs. He, coming into NYCFC being a newer coach, again, could bode troublesome. But that fan base is strong, and they typically get behind their coach to say, hey, look, this is what we want. and you understand that this is the style in which we play. It's fast. There's a lot of speed. You know, I'm not a fan of them. I'm still not and never will be a fan of them playing at Yankee Stadium. Look, but I also don't, you know, I'm not worth $1 billion or however much they're worth. The bottom line is, I do think that the signing will bode. The possibilities are high, considering. I do think they're very. Um, they're, I think that ownership group is very strategic about who they hire. I do think that if it's not working though, that ownership group is very good about being like, bye, thanks, bye. So he's really got one season to apply what he can bring to the table. And if things go wrong, you know, they'll move on. With all of that being said, the kit, I don't, you know, it's a clean light blue kit. I mean, they're going, it's a little more, I don't know, traditional than their recent kit. The recent kit, I thought, for me, was terrible, like literally atrocious. Like I hated it. So it's better than that one, but it's still not great. All of that being said, I had to give NYCFC a C minus. But we will see what happens. You never count out NYCFC. That's, you just learn that as the season goes on, and every season they've been a part of it. So we'll see what happens. And our final club of this volume, volume 2, is the New York Red Bulls. Runners up in the MLS Cup playoffs. I was shocked. In part, I'm still shocked, considering who they played in the Eastern Conference Finals to make it to the MLS Cup Championship Final. I'm still shocked, in part. New York Red Bulls surprised a lot of people. I think that they got a good bracket, but it's never really about the bracket. It doesn't matter. Once that season starts all over, once the postseason starts. And the New York Red Bulls fed into that postseason and said, let's give it all we got. They gave all they had, and they made it to the final, eventually losing against an LA Galaxy team that was, as far as I'm concerned, well-deserving, and considering what they were able to bring to the table by the end of the season going into postseason. They just rode that wave. And I also believe that the New York Red Bulls rode the wave. The wave just came crashing down on them by the final. With that being said, I do think a lot of players that they have coming in and the players that they have already on hand are going to prove to be one of the stronger teams in MLS. Their fan base can use some help, and I think the fan base knows it. I've been to games at the Sports Illustration Arena, now formerly known as Red Bull Arena. I probably still will call it Red Bull Arena, considering I just got the name wrong. However, I've been to games there, and the stadium itself is gorgeous. It's state of the art, beautiful Red Bull emblem throughout these blue chairs surrounding it. You know, on television, you've seen the Red Bull Stadium light up. You've seen these teams, the international teams, play at Red Bull Arena. The fans are there. I don't understand how the fans are not showing up for this team. The stadium is pristine. It's so gorgeous. Up close and personal, I've, again, seen it. The stadium is really beautiful. I don't know what they need to do, that front office or the office, the team, the directors. I don't know what y'all need to do. Maybe it is time, after that new NYCFC stadium is built in Queens. You guys are in Jersey. Maybe it is time for you to drop the New York Red Bulls, the New York aspect. Maybe you just Jersey Red Bulls. Like, that doesn't fall off the tongue. I don't think the fan base cares. But if you think about the fan base of Jersey team setters that are diehards, look at the New Jersey Devils, right? Look, these guys show up. You understand? And this fan base will show up if they understand that you, as a company, you as you as a squad and as the New York Red Bulls as a corporation are behind them as well. And right now, I don't think that the local fan base really believes that you are behind them. There's something more that needs to be done. This team has been a part of this league for so long, and it's just not enough. The kit is kind of inspired by that as well. I'm not really a big fan of the kit. It's like an off-white kit with hints of beige and brown, and it's like a camouflage concept, but it's white. It's a little bit boring and it's uninspired. All of that said, because of last year's run, and I'm hoping you guys will take that into this season, I'm giving you a B minus. Take that into next season. I really hope to see you guys have some kind of success next season. I really hope for that. Let's see what we got for you. This was another edition, guys, of Give and Go presented by Switch Fields. Thank you so much for being with me, being here. My name is Tori. We'll get back to you for the next and last 10 teams. We have a new team, an incumbent team. I'm so excited to talk to you about that one. But I am so excited. Tomorrow starts the MLS season. Let's get into it. Have a good day. God bless.